What made the weird kid at your school weird? What made he pooped himself regularly, deliberately? Man, what a power move. I respect that. End any argument with this one neat trick. People hate him. Pants hate him. When I was in high school there was this kid, let's call him Andy, who was definitely on the wrong side of the IQ bell curve. Actually, maybe not. He wasn't an imbecile, but he had no common sense. He'd act first and think later all the time. There are two particularly good stories I have regarding him, but here's the best one. We were in the band hall, right before we had to set up for a football game. We were both in marching band and had a little group we hung out with and shot the shit with. He was known for being pretty gross. He was known for crop dusting people with some absolutely vile SBD paint peelers and clearing entire areas of the band hall with no trouble. He'd also do whatever you dared him to do. One time, after our group's tradition of eating some hot and spicy burritos at this awesome Mexican place right before the football game, he did the unthinkable. When we got back to the band hall, I dared him to shit his pants in the middle of the band hall. Without hesitation, he squats down, and his face turned red. You could see his forehead and jugular veins bulging. All of a sudden, he went white as a ghost. He started off toward the bathroom, leaving a trail of kibbles and bits-sized poo on the way. Of course, being the 15 to 17 year olds that we were, we all died laughing. Laughed so hard our abs hurt after. So, being that I was the one who dared him, I went to the bathroom and made sure he was okay. I was still laughing, and he was still in shock, but he was doing okay and just going to have to freeball later. I asked him if he needed anything, and he said nah. I started to walk back to my cackling friends, and before I could walk out of the bathroom I hear, actually, hang on, I do need something. I need about $3.50. Well, it was about this time that I realized that Andy was no friend of mine, but a 200-story tall crustacean from the Mesozoic era. Damn it, Nessie, I ain't giving you no $3.50, I proclaimed as he fled the bathroom and scurried off into the distance. I was obviously shocked at the whole affair, and my friends could hardly believe it. After I told them what I'd seen, we all just kind of kept quiet about it the rest of the night through the football game, and no one ever spoke of Andy again. He walked around like Master Chief, even teabagged the ground randomly, all while holding an invisible assault rifle. He truly thought he was a dirt bike. He would run through the halls jumping off of lockers and make the shifting gears noises with his mouth. Absolute mad lad. He was always running around in the shape of a 8. If you just said hello to him he started screeching and attacked you with his lunchbox, and once he ate a Kit Kat with the plastic. Heck, that makes the weird kid in my class look normal. He once ran into a random man at train station. The man wanted to help him get up, and he deadass put his school bag off, took his lunchbox out and smashed it into the man's face like WTF. She was afraid of cows, and if you said moo or mentioned cows she'd freak out and attack you. I'll give it to her though, she'd even try to attack guys 3 times her size that were athletes. Sounds like she was milking it. Don't say that around her though. That joke was utterly terrible. He wrote his crush's name on the wall in the bathroom with his own poop. They caught him brown-handed. Also would freak out if someone said werewolf. Caught him brown-handed. Beautiful. He was on a hair trigger, would snap and threaten people. Suspended multiple times. 2 memorable incidents were when we freaked out at an art teacher, went to his locker, and came back with a bullwhip. He made that thing snap and sent everyone running. She barricaded herself in the supply room. Another time someone made the mistake of teasing him about something and everyone laughed, and he pulled a knife and screamed, "Who wants to be the first to die?" He was expelled, and I'm not sure what became of him. Imagine sitting in class thinking the weird kid is gonna retrieve his gun, but instead brings a reffing bullwhip. You went to school with Indiana Jones. The art teacher complimented his painting by saying, "Nice work. We should display your painting in the library." And that's when he snapped and screamed, "It belongs in a museum." In high school we had a kid that wore his pants up to his nipples, so he was called Pants all through high school. He was very strange. Got way too close to people, purposely liked to slowly touch people and creep them out. Always walked around on his tiptoes for some reason. In grade 12 he tried to poison someone just to see how it felt. 2 years after high school he got put in jail for killing a hooker. Did he think he was in GTA? I honestly think he was suffering from some kind of neglect or abuse at home. Edit. To clarify, I have no idea and won't defend a murderer. But I've worked a lot with psych ward kids and I've seen all the different versions of this kid, and there's always some poop going on with family. Touchy uncles, a junkie parent who brings men home around her kids, etc. Really sad. They grow up with bad, crazy, and or fucking weird role models, or even none at all. In 8th grade, this girl used to finger herself in class. She wasn't good at hiding it, hands under a hoodie in her lap, and we all noticed the room would start to smell bad. Kid in my class would jerk off. You would hear him grunt, and then wipe his hands on his desk. Edit. It would be rubbed on top of the desk, let dry, then rubbed some more to peel off. He licked his hands once after. It happened multiple times. Grade 5. Teacher saw. One girl did say something to the teacher but nothing happened. 1999 was a weird time. There is a kid at my school, and he can't put his laptop down. Eating lunch, on his laptop, as soon as he finishes a test, on his laptop. And we were all wondering what he could put his laptop down for. So one kid asked him. He was designing Minecraft skins, and watching Minecraft videos. What a legend. There was a kid at my high school who never talked. It wasn't that he couldn't speak, or that he only spoke to his close friends. He just wouldn't speak to anyone. Teachers didn't call on him, because they knew he didn't talk. When a substitute would come in and try to call on him, there was always some kid who would have to explain Ricky doesn't talk. If you asked him a question he would just look at you. It was weird and some people would take offense to his silence. But eventually everyone realized that was just his thing, and rolled with it. The only time he spoke was when we had to present individually in class. On those days people would get really excited if they had a class with him, because hearing him talk was like seeing a unicorn. Edit. A lot of people have mentioned this possibly being a case of selective mutism. I looked up the diagnosis, and it seems like a good match. There were also rumors from kids who rode the bus with him who said that once he got off the bus, he would meet up with his neighborhood friends and, presumably, talk to them. When he did present in class he didn't have a weird voice or any strange vocal qualities. We had a guy like this. Didn't talk to anyone, starting in elementary school, all the way through high school. A year or so after high school graduation I was visiting some other friends, and it turns out he hangs out with them. He was now super talkative. Totally nice, friendly guy. It was kind of bizarre, almost uncomfortable at first, having a conversation with him after all these years. It was half like talking to a stranger, but at the same time, someone I'd known for a long time. I had always figured he had a speech impediment or something that he was shy about. Nope. Just didn't talk for 10 plus years. Edit. To be clear, it wasn't like an asocial thing. He literally wouldn't speak. If you tried to get his attention or ask him a question he would turn and smile at you, but just not say anything. The teachers knew not to call on him, etc. Edit 2. Things. Edit 3. Getting a lot of questions, and at this point it feels wrong to be talking about said person without consent in a public space like this, given the high visibility due to the amount of upvotes. I didn't expect this to attract so much attention. I won't be sharing any further information about it going forward. He would have full conversations, arguments, and sometimes physical altercations with a brick column in the middle of the cafeteria. Who usually won? I don't think anyone won those. They usually made up though as they would chat like normal the next day. He always carried around a briefcase, but never opened it. Sat on the briefcase during lunch, classes, etc. It was like the nuclear football, always in his hand, or he was sitting on it. He carried it onto the stage during graduation, got his diploma. Right as he was leaving the stage, he opened it up and dumped a bunch of confetti on the principal. I guess it was the long con? No one questioned why he was carrying it on stage. Weird. I didn't have any weird kids in school. Oh no. We had like 3 weird kids GBH. The first one was a guy that I saw pour an entire bottle of water onto a sandwich and then eat the sloppy mess, making weirdly appreciative noises. He's the one that ended up coming to school with a gun, but according to our school, handed himself into the police. The second was some kid that never showered, apparently had a Russian girlfriend who was pregnant, but he had no evidence of this girlfriend. Had some weird obsession with making stabby things out of anything. And lastly was this girl that literally just wanted to fight everyone, looked like a space raider, and said a shitload of racist and homophobic stuff. She ended up leaving the school after she picked a fight with the wrong person. Edit. Holy poop, I wasn't expecting this to blow up. Space raiders are a type of British crisp, but you Americans call them chips. I'm in fact from England, not Florida, haha.